'Cause there's only one king.
South Dakota State will dance.
There's only one king. South Dakota has climbed the summit. So you better start running. So you better start running. So you better start running. Because I'm coming right now.
Baked in! It's good! Jenkins Jr. baked it in!
It's time to climb at the Summit League tournament. The Jackrabbit men in Western Illinois are no strangers to each other. Not only did they meet last week in Brookings, but it's the second straight year the two have faced off in the quarterfinals. Jacks only won that game a year ago by 6, so they knew they couldn't take the Leathernecks lightly. They were actually trailing midway through the first half until Jenkins Jr. hits the step-back jumper. It's 13-12. SDSU has the lead as we expected. The lead lasts 15 seconds. Western dominates the rest of the half. Isaac Johnson steals, score, hoop in the harm. 38-28 Leathernecks at half, and they kept it going in the second. Brandon Gilbeck for the dunk. Leathernecks lead by 8 with 5 minutes left. That's when the Rabbits finally get something going for TJ Otzelberger. Mike Dahm only had 4 in the first half, finished with 16 and gets them back to within 8. Then with just a few minutes to go, it's Tevin King with a steal, layup, and the bucket. He missed the free throw, but the Rabbits were within 6. Now 14 seconds left. Jacks are down by 4. It's Jenkins Jr. for 3, and it's a 1-point game. Crowd just trying to will them toward a victory. Jacks down by 3 after a couple of free throws. Jenkins, you want the ball in his hand. He slips, but gets a wide open look, and it rims out. A stunner. The first time ever an 8 seed has beaten a 1 on the Summit. The Jackrabbits are heading to the NIT after a stunning loss.
I don't think for a second that our guys took the game lightly or thought we could come back at any time. I thought we had a great week of practice. I thought they were extremely focused. And I think all the credit goes to Western Illinois for how they executed their game plan, and they were physical.
I mean, to be blunt, it sucks. It really sucks. But for us, we know we're gonna get a bid into the NIT, so we still get to play games in the postseason.
Well, the first game of the day was the top-seeded Jackrabbit women starting against Purdue Fort Wayne, and they didn't leave much doubt or room for Fort Wayne to ever think about an upset. There's Maya Sellen, the Sanborn Central Woonsocket alum, for 3, as SDSU's out to an 11-5 lead. Aaron Johnson looks concerned, but he wouldn't be concerned for very long. Macy Miller had a great afternoon. She was going off, getting the rebound and the putback. Then moments later, off a Madison Giebert steal, she gets it to Miller for 3 of her game-high 24 points. This one was never in doubt as the Jackrabbits win 88-50. We have extended highlights on our website, KDLT.com, and the Jacks did not take the 8th seed for granted.
You don't want to look any team here in the Summit League. Everyone's coming out to win the game, and I just say you got to come and play your hardest and bring your best game.
It's not like it's a day off at the relaxing, so there's some value to it. But it's nice to let maybe mentally regroup a little bit, get your emotions back up. I think that part helps.
Next up, the second-seeded Coyotes against North Dakota State, and they too get off to a fast start. Allison Arns from the corner. Trey BN as USD grabs the early lead. And a few moments later, Chloe Lamb was really multitasking. She was actually throwing some knockout punches with hoops like this inside. And then a few minutes later, when they had some condensation on the floor, she was mopping up the floor, which is kind of fitting because at this point they were mopping the floor with NDSU. Kira Duffy for 3. Coyotes were up 11 after 1, and like the SDSU game, this was never in doubt. We also have more highlights on the website, KDLT.com. Coyotes moving on, 74-51.
They just did a very good job of finding ways to create turnovers, which then we were fortunate enough to get out and get going and get the ball moving and hopefully score some points. But I think it's a very good win for us, a great way to start the tournament, and kind of fun to be back at it after a week off.
I felt good going into that game. Sometimes on that first game there's a few jitters and things like that, so it was good to get them out and good to walk out with the win.
At the NCAA Division II Wrestling Championships in Cleveland, Augustana's Colin Ayers wrestling for the 157-pound national title against Nebraska Kearney's Matt Malcolm. Malcolm with the 2-point takedown. He was pretty much in control, building a 7-2 lead. In the third period, Ayers finally gets a point of his own on a 2-point takedown. Rough night for him, though. He loses 8-4, but still congrats on a runner-up finish. The Vikings do have a national champion on the track. Augustana's Olivia Montez Brown seals the national pentathlon title in the 800 out in Kansas. She scores a 3,915 points to win that national championship by 9 points. Congrats to her. The State B girls basketball tournament concludes tonight with a pair of teams that look very different and took different routes to the championship game in last night's semifinals. Ethan won with ease, while DeSmet needed a buzzer beater to get past Corsica Stickney. Tonight they played for all the marbles in the Huron Arena. Start this one in the third quarter. DeSmet with the lead, and they build on it. Autumn Wilkinson wide open from the corner for 3 as they take a 9-point lead. Autumn finished with 12 points on the day. DeSmet up by 9. No quitting Ethan, though. Callie Hone gets open, and suddenly it's a 7-point game. Then their next time down, Carly Gustafson, whose sister was busy at Northwestern tonight. That's a nice move. She had 12 points and 12 boards, backed within a 4-point game, but it was DeSmet's night, and it's the coach's kid, Rin Ostis. Funny-looking shot, but you got to love that result. DeSmet, your state champs. They win it 49-39. Back to the college game. Dakota Wesleyan facing Taylor in Sioux City in the NAIA quarterfinals. D-Dub looking to get to the Final Four. Third quarter, Kaylee Kirk with the baseline jumper, as Dakota Wesleyan making it look easy against a pretty good Taylor team, 56-39. Jason Christensen liking that. Here's another Ostis, Riley Ostis with the driving layup. A good night for the Ostis family as it's a 12-point game. Move ahead to the fourth quarter. Madison Matthews open for 3. That makes it 64-49, and Kennedy Cheeseman, as she usually does, helps finish this thing off. She gets a bucket and a foul. Dakota Wesleyan heading back to the Final Four, 75-62. Next up, Northwestern and the College of the Ozarks. What a game this ended up being. Darby Gustafson gets the Red Raiders started with a layup inside, and then they get some nice ball movement, finding Anna Keel, who's going to finish with a layup. Now, Northwestern trailed in this game by 5. They trailed pretty much the whole way, but they kept clawing their way back in it by feeding the post. This time it's Cassidy DeYoung, and with the final second of the game, it's Gustafson hitting a buzzer beater to send Northwestern to the Final Four, 71-70. The Stampede lose at Waterloo, but the Sioux Falls Storm do win at Nebraska. They're 2-0. We're back in one moment.